You got a bunch of teams that are undefeated. You know who's shown the biggest sign of greatness?
Who's that?
TCU. TCU, who is now number 6 in the BCS standings, and Florida and Alabama are going down. One of them is. Maybe I still say everyone's losing a game this year. Can you?
I don't think so, man.
You keep saying that. They look beatable every week.
Yeah, I know they look
every week.
I know they look beatable, but going up against tomato cans don't know how to win a game like that, even when they have a chance.
All right. Well, one of them's going down, right?
Yeah, one of them will go down.
They have to, because they're going to play each other if all holds true. But let's just say let's say Texas gets beat.
By who?
Oh, this week, dude. Oklahoma State. I don't think it's going to happen, but you're in Stillwater on Halloween at night? Look at your little smirk over there. You're just so depressed that Texas is going to go undefeated, are you?
Actually, it's more resignation. I'm not depressed by it. I'm resigned to it.
They're a good football team, man. That defense is badass. That is a badass defense Texas has. But can you deny TCU a chance to play for the national championship?
Of course you can, and they will. You know they will.
I don't know.
This BCS thing is just their opportunity, just a way for them to rig things the way they want it.
I'm telling you.
And the way they want it is
it's different
not
this
with
year.
TCU.
It's different this year. TCU got a lot of pub. Game day was there. Nobody got to watch the game because it was on Versus, but everybody knows what happened. TCU went in there and kicked the living S out of a pretty good BYU team. Not a great one, but a pretty good one. And you know what else played into TCU's favor? First off, they held BYU to 7 points on their home turf.
Right.
Then, a game that really didn't matter at the time, when TCU traveled to Clemson and beat them and held Clemson to 10 points, that didn't look like very much of a win, even though it was a BCS school. Suddenly, Clemson turns around and goes on the road and beats Miami in overtime. I'm telling you, man, it's different this year. And TCU's done it enough times as far as being in. It's not like this is a one-year wonder like Hawaii. This is TCU. They've been there, done that. And I'm telling you, if let's just say Florida goes undefeated, Texas has a loss, USC has a loss. I think USC will be out of it after this weekend. But
where you think USC's losing this weekend?
Yeah, I do. If they don't lose this week, they're going to lose again. The USC's not that good. But TCU will play for the national championship.
No, they won't.
Okay, who are you going to put in there, Mike?
No way.
Who are you going to put in there?
They will put 2 one-loss teams in there before they put TCU in there.
I don't think so. Now, TCU only has one more shot to impress the pollsters, and that's with Utah. The rest of their schedule is littered with WAC has-been, or Mountain West has-beens. But when push comes to shove, hey, they're ahead of Texas right now in the Sagarin ratings. I mean, a lot of computers have them ahead of them.
What do we know really about how these computers work?
We know very little.
We're taking somebody at their word.
We know
I'm telling you, they're going to gerrymander this to get 2 teams that they want in there, and one of those teams is not going to be TCU. It is not going to be Boise State.
What about Cincinnati?
No, it's not going to be Cincinnati.
BCS conference?
No, BCS.
They would take a one-loss.
No, yes, they would take They would take a big one-loss team before they would Cincinnati.
Not happening.
I'm telling you, they would.
Not happening. Not this year.
You don't understand the wiggle room they have in this, Corby.
They will just gerrymander it themselves?
Yes, they will.
I don't believe
to
that.
To get big teams in there.
I don't believe
if
that.
If one of those one-loss teams is USC and Cincinnati goes undefeated, USC's going.
I don't know.
Against whoever. I'm telling you, they will.
I don't think they're USC has not been impressive at all. At all.
They're still USC.
I know. And why? You know, that's the thing. USC loses to a Washington team who can't get off the pot nowadays. They lose to a Washington
all right, that was a bad loss, but they've been pretty good since then.
Pretty good. Pretty good. They barely beat Oregon State at home. They barely hold off Notre Dame, an average Notre Dame
all right,
team.
they had big leads in both of those games.
It doesn't matter. I don't care.
They put together stretches of good football, better football than Texas has lately, than Alabama has lately, than Florida has lately.
They don't have a loss, Mike.
I know.
To a team that's ranked number 100.
Would you listen to what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
USC in each of those games has put together better stretches of football. Now, they lose their focus at the end of these games. And I know you got to finish, right?
Yeah, you do.
And they start getting all these dumb penalties, and they start showing off, and that whole USC thing that I talk about starts coming into play once they get a lead. But in the course of getting those leads, they play better than any of those teams do.
USC against Texas or against Alabama would score about 3 points.
They would not.
Yes, they would.
They would not.
Their defenses are so much better and so much more dominant than the USC offense is. Well, USC scored 410 against Washington. That's all I'm going to say.
That's one bad game they've had this year.
Okay. Well, we'll see this week when they travel to Oregon and get their asses tanned and get removed from the conversation altogether. And then you'll call for the firing of Pete Carroll after that.
Yes, I will.
With a freshman quarterback. All right. So anyway, I really, truly, in my heart of hearts, believe that TCU now is a legitimate player for the national championship. I really do. Now, a lot of things are going to have to break for them. A lot of teams are going to have to lose. But if they go undefeated with the resume they have, with the kind of defense that they have, and now the kind of offense that they have with Andy Dalton playing quarterback, and he's playing really well right now, then just look out. And would you have a problem with that?
Yeah, I would.
Why?
Because I want to see big teams in the championship game. I don't want to see an upstart.
They're not an upstart. They're in the top 10 every year.
TCU.
They're in the top 10 every year.
They are TCU. They play in District 6-5A. Okay. I want to see a big team.
Okay. All right.
Even if it's a one-loss big team, I still want to see a big team.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
TCU could hang with Florida, Alabama, or Texas because their defense is that good.
You are so overrated.
Well, I'm not, dude. No, I'm not.
I can't believe how incredibly naive you're being, Corby.
Incredibly naive?
Yes.
So me and probably, 75% of the rest of the people that comment on college football are being naive?
Yes. If you think TCU is going to legitimately get into the championship game, you are.
Okay, am I naive, though, that I think they can compete with the big boys?
Yeah, I think you are.
You're high.
No, I'm not high.
You know very little about them, very little. And I'm not sitting here trumping TCU up. I'm just calling out the facts that they've shown enough here, especially the last 2 years. They've shown enough since.
And look, I don't mean to take anything away from the program or anything away from what they're doing over there, because they're doing the best they can. But the football that they play and the football that these other schools play are two different animals.
Yeah, their conference, they're hamstrung by their conference. There is no question about it. But they want to play anybody and everybody, and it's tough for them to schedule a game against a BCS school. They don't want to play them. You know, it's a no-win situation. And TCU beats 90% of the teams they play, including Oklahoma.
That's why the whole thing is so screwed up.
All right, so the most shocking game, I think, in all of college football the entire year. You can name any game you want. You want to say, pick a game. Louisiana Lafayette beating Kansas State. To me, this is a bigger upset than any of them. Texas A&M going on the road and beating Texas Tech.